It's unbelievable. One day you just open your eyes and you find yourself in the world without your permission. Thrown into a life made of lights, sounds, colors, in which you are totally naked, helpless, and unaware of why you are there and what is going to happen. Actually, you don't care too much, since the only thing you desire in that moment is someone to cuddle and take care of you. And that's where your parents come in. The first few years of your life, you tend to take their attention and their reality completely for granted. After all, it's the only one you have to deal with, and that's why you're pretty sure that everyone, more or less, has experienced and received love in the same way you have. But time moves on, you grow up, and once you cross the threshold of adulthood, you discover that the people around you have had to deal with parents who are completely different from yours. This is the main reason why they have received different influences and education. You come across many personalities, those who are more perfectionist, those who are nicer, those who are more beautiful, those who are more overbearing, and this is where problems arise. Comparing yourself with others forces you to look in the mirror at the person you are and come to terms with your limitations. Your difficulties in managing relationships, your appearance, your failures at school and work, your inability to start an activity and stick to it, the deep contempt held for your own body. So you connect the dots, and all those feelings that you were harboring inside, in short order turn into a rancorous rage directed towards those who you believe are mainly responsible for your sense of inadequacy, your parents. You remember that intrusive and possessive father, too interested in having control of the situation to notice what you really needed. A mother with an uncompromising and judgmental look, who wouldn't let you get away with anything. The hypocrisy of a parent who spoiled you in every possible way, driven more by a sense of guilt they didn't have the courage to face than by genuine generosity and goodness of their hearts. Perhaps you remember two dull and vacant eyes in which you hoped in vain to catch a glimpse of a light you could never find, and which made the silence in that room suffocating and unbearable. Thus the frustrations built up, one on top of the other. At this point, you can choose to deal with the pain superficially by ignoring it, or you can hyper-focus on your own suffering and shut the world out. Either way, one way or another, the result is more or less the same, and the finger of blame always ends up being pointed at them. Why didn't you tell me that life would be so heavy and difficult? It is your fault that I am here today, alone, having to bear the burden of who I am, not knowing what to do or how to move forward. I could have avoided this suffering, but you preferred to think of yourself rather than focus on my needs. Why did you bring me into this world if you didn't care enough? It's true, you can't hide it. Our parents have limits. Some are selfish, some are fearful, and some are arrogant and manipulative. Whenever we are hurting, we tend to focus mainly on how they should have behaved with us and what kind of people they should have been. Yet, we hardly reflect on what kind of people they actually were before they gave us life. We never think that they too may have experienced this kind of pain or gone through similar experiences. They were once young and had to deal with their parents' limitations, as well as with the difficulties of life. They may have felt inadequate, sometimes even failures. At times they have reached the pinnacle of their success, feeling invincible, while at others they have hit rock bottom, a rock bottom that most likely marked them, leaving a scar that they still carry inside. However, they rolled up their sleeves and fended for themselves, trying to find a way to build the life they wanted. Did they succeed? Did they fail? We don't know, and it doesn't matter. what we really care about is that we must be responsible for ourselves and to do the exact same thing. It doesn't matter how old you are or what generation you belong to, because at the end of the day, the conclusion is always the same. We can have support, but we are the ones who must take action to seek our own answers. To your parents, being selfish, fearful, arrogant, or manipulative was helpful in surviving and achieving their goals. In all likelihood, they chose to relate to you in this way for that very reason, because it helped them. But that's where you have to try to be patient. Recognize that what was helpful to them will not necessarily be helpful to you, learning to detach and forgive them. Continuing to blame them will not allow you to shift your gaze to yourself and find the strength you need to build your own way and with your own tools for coping. The same tools that they primarily provided you with, frustrating you and making you suffer. There are demanding fathers, unempathetic parents, even abusive and terrible parents. Yet, as difficult as it may be to accept at times, it is also their limitations that have made you more sensitive and attentive to certain details that make you unique and different. Repudiating them is like repudiating your story, and repudiating your story is the same as repudiating yourself. Only by becoming more forgiving will you be able to move forward with your life in the way you desire. Forgiving your parents will allow you to become more understanding of their stories and what they experienced. It is at that point that you will be able to move forward on your path without dragging heavy shadows from the past. Stopping to delegate responsibility for who you are to them will allow you to realize that as much as they have had an influence on your life, you are the only person who has the ability to put obstacles in your path. Thank you for listening. My name is Silvia Vitello, and this is Psyche. You can listen to all the episodes on the official website www.psycheofficial.com. For any information, you can send an email to teampsyche@gmail.com.